Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. Great. So without any delay, let's start with the NDECC webinar. First of all, I would like to thank you all for taking out time to join us today. And also would like to thank all those individuals, like all those doctors who were able to visit us and join us in the celebration on 16th May. So thank you, everyone. I can see some of you here as well, so that's good. Okay, so done with ACJ. I know it's a great feeling that you are done with the exam, but at the same time, till the time you're waiting for the results, it's always a constant, weird kind of feeling that what is going to happen, when are the results going to be announced, when should we start with the next step in the process, and how to utilize this amazing time which we have in hand, which is generally not the case with this process. So, to help you out, I believe the board has already sent you the email that you will be appearing for your NDECC exam in fall. So I hope everyone is clear what fall means. So same here, Dr. Mohammed. So that means you can have your exams anywhere from 30th September till December as per the fall information, because that is the time period for the fall. If you get the seats in winter, that will be Jan onwards, which would be ideal. But since we don't have too many choices, so we can either go for the priority seating or we can decline it. So today we are going to give you insights about what we have to offer and how we can support those individuals who are planning to start before the results or who are planning to start once the results are announced. So both the situations, we will try to cover it in this webinar. In the webinar, the outline I'm going to follow would be this, where we are going to first talk about what we have to offer in our clinical centers. And I will be introducing you to the team members. They are not here when it comes to the clinical instructors. I do have Dr. Neeti with us, who will be helping us with the situational judgment introduction. Then we are going to talk about the pricing and what special policies we have for students who are going to start in the month of June. And after that, the stage will be open for question and answers. So we understand there is a big dilemma right now in front of you, whether to start the NDECC preparation prior to the results or not. So after this webinar, I hope you will have some clarity and some relaxation towards that. At least JADE is there to support you in whatever decision you're going to take. And both in terms of mentally, in terms of preparing for the exam, and as well as the main important point in terms of financial aspect. So we have launched some policies which are very, very friendly for those who are planning to go for June. Okay, who would like to give them a chance to go for the exam. So let's see our Mississauga Center first. So in Mississauga, we have an NDECC center for the last 2 years. And in May, we celebrated the second anniversary. People who visited, they loved the center. So we have 4 different labs in Mississauga. You will be getting ADEC access. ADEC is this simulator on which the doctor is working. So this is the same simulator you're going to get in the actual exam as well. Okay, so these are ADEC simulators. Each individual will get their own simulator, depending on whether you are going for the morning or the evening slot or full day access. So you will have different access, but this is how a simulator looks like. The Even the MCC cart and everything is designed in a manner that it represents the actual exam environment, what you're going to see in the actual exam. So this is one of the labs. We have 4 such labs in our center, and you will be allocated one station for the 12 weeks or for the time period you are going to join us. We also have a beautiful lounge area where you can relax. We have a prayer room in NDECC Center, so that in case if you need that extra motivation from none other than him, so you can always go there and spend some alone time there in the prayer room. And this is on the left is our demo room, where the instructor is going to sit at one place, going to show you everything. You have the big screen as well as individual screens on the table so that you can see everything clearly and you don't have to strain your eyes. So we will be providing you with all the demonstrations, as well as there will be some pre-recorded demonstrations as well, for which you have tablets on each station. Okay, so this is just a glimpse of our Mississauga Center. If you are in the nearby area and you're planning to join Mississauga, reach out to the team, book a tour. You can always visit and see everything in person as well. Okay. This is our amazing NDECC clinical instructors team in Mississauga. So Dr. Nikita and Dr. Ashish, these are the lead instructors, and uh, they will be there to guide you with the demonstrations, with the work checks, along with the other instructors. Uh, some of them are with us from day one of the clinical center. Some of them joined in between. In fact, some of the instructors are those who have also cleared 700 series exams, because that was very recent. So they have joined the team. So you get the experience of all the different individuals, people who are working with us for so long, and people who have recently cleared the exam. So they have that recency effect and they can also guide you. Not all of them will be providing the work check. Some of them are floor instructors, some of them are work check, and some of them will be doing both. Okay. So this is our NDECC clinical team. Then we have another center where we have recently done the collaboration, that is in Surrey. In fact, in BC, we have 2 locations now. One is in Westminster and the other one is in Surrey. The Westminster location might be going for an upgrade so that it matches with the Surrey Center. But again, we still have spaces in the Surrey Center, although it is quite full, but we do have some spaces available. So you can again visit the Surrey Center and see the facility, and you can reach out to the team to join. We have a collaboration in Surrey with Dr. Sri, who has established his name in the market. And that is the reason why JADE went with the collaboration, because he's very dedicated instructor. He has a very good reputation in the market, and he helps his students through and through. So you will be in great hands if you join our Surrey Center. In Surrey, there are some different policies which I'm going to share once we reach to the policies table. But we have ADEC stations, similar MCC cards. We also have Pro stations. So what are ADEC stations? What are Pro stations? ADEC station is the one which you can see here, which I showed you earlier as well. Mississauga is all ADEC. Surrey is a hybrid center. It has ADEC stations as well as Pro stations, where you will be having a table and a table stand with the Darwin head. So instead of the full ADEC system, you will have Pro station. That is what we call it. So you will be getting some days on ADEC, some days on Pro station, so that you have the experience of both. Okay. The instructor team in Surrey will be Dr. Sri and Dr. Shraddha. So Dr. Sri is the head instructor in Surrey, and Dr. Shraddha will be helping you with the floor assistance as well as some work checks as well. Mainly the work checks will be taken care by Dr. Sri in Surrey Center. Okay. Now course details. Before I go there, everything good? Comfortable? You're understanding my terminologies. Perfect. Wonderful. Even in webinar, I'm not able to come out of my teaching mode. So that is why it is good to know that you are on the same page. Okay. Now, how does the clinical course work? So unlike AFK and ACJ, where you have a start date and a fixed end date, in NDECC clinical or situational courses, the exams are happening at a different time period. Some of you might be going for the priority seating, where you will be giving the exams from 30th September till December. Some of you might be declining it, again, up to you, where you might get the seat in Jan Feb or later in 2026. No one knows, because you will be placed in a pool where you have to go and book your seat on a particular date, unlike priority seating. In priority seating, you will be getting a date from the board, but the time period will be 30th September to December. It can be any time during that time period. If you say no to it, you are in a pool, you're going, logging in, and it's a lottery system. Maybe you will get the seat, maybe you will not get the seat. So it could be Jan, Feb, March, April, May, or even later. You don't know. Okay. So you have to keep trying to get the seat. That is the disadvantage of not taking the priority seating. Now, in order to help students get into the course and join, we offer flexible start dates. So if you are not taking the priority seating and you would like to join after your results, you can start in July. But if you're someone like, because of any personal reason, you are planning to go for the exam in 2026, you don't have to wait for a proper cycle to begin. You can join any time of the year. You just have to ask the team, see what options are available, what seats options are there, and how early they can help you to begin your course. So it is a flexible start date course. But we will also have a dedicated groups. So the next group which is going to start will be in the first week of June. Okay, we are planning to start from 3rd June for those who are going for the priority seating. Okay, once the results are announced. So how does it work? You join a course for 12 weeks. Whenever you are starting, you are joining it for 12 weeks. If you are joining in a group, there will be live demos as per the schedule. Like for example, from 3rd of June, we are going to start the demos. Every week, you will have one demonstration given by the instructor live in the demo room. If you're joining in between, you might have missed some live demos, so you have to rely on the pre-recorded, and you can watch those live demos whenever they are going to happen for the next group. Okay, so demonstrations are available in both ways, pre-recorded and live, so that we can give you the flexibility of selecting the joining date. In Mississauga, you will get 6 days access to the ADEC station. Pre-recorded and live demonstrations I have already explained. Once the demonstrations are over for one group, we go to the next step, which is pinch hitting session. Again, they are also available in pre-recorded format, as well as live pinch hitting sessions will also be there, where instructor is going to come in with you in the demo room, but instead of giving you full-fledged demo, they are just focusing on one particular activity, one particular step, or the step where they are feeling that students are facing challenges. So for example, if I'm making a class 2 and I'm always making my walls divergent instead of convergent, and my friends are also facing the same issue, they can send us the email in a group to request a pinch hitting session to tackle it. If a pre-recorded version is available, you can opt for it. But if it is not available, we will reach out to the instructor team and we will try to get it arranged for you. That is a pinch hitting session. So it's a short session where few problems are being tackled for you. Now, some of these problems can also be managed on the floor assistance. When the floor instructor is there, you can always ask that I'm struggling with this particular step, how to correct it, and they can show you right there by performing it or by doing it in front of you. But if there is a major issue, either our instructors analyze that everyone is making a mistake in this particular activity, or students feel that we need some more conceptual knowledge on this particular topic, then pinch hitting session can be arranged. Okay. To give you flexibility, you have 3 shift options. You can opt for morning batch, you can opt for evening batch, you can opt for full day. Morning and evening batch gives you 8-hour access to the lab. Full day gives you access from 7 in the morning till 11 p.m. The station belongs to you. You can come whenever you want to. You just have to make sure that you manage the timings in a sense that you are not missing out on your work checks, because work checks can be scheduled anytime if you're in a full day. From 9:30, 10 in the morning till 6:20 in the evening. It can be any time for a full day student. For an evening student, we try to keep it in the evening time slot. For a morning student, in the morning time slot. 3 days of dedicated floor assistance. So in Mississauga, currently we have 4 labs. One instructor is going to come and they are going to go into all the different labs at a dedicated time period. That could be in the morning, that could be in the afternoon, that could be in the evening, and it keeps on fluctuating. For example, on Monday in my lab, they are coming in the morning. Then on Wednesday, they might come in the evening. So that if I'm a morning person or I have full day access, but I prefer to come in the mornings, then I will have an instructor access. So their time period will keep on switching. In case if you do not have any floor assistants dedicated at that time period and you need help, you can always see the schedule where they are and when they are going to come and plan things accordingly. Okay. So 3 days, there will be a floor instructor who will be helping you in the lab. In the beginning, you might need more of floor assistance, but the idea should be when I'm preparing for my exam, I need to reduce the reliance on the floor assistance, because floor assistance is a double-edged sword. It benefits you in the beginning, but if you keep on relying on the instructor, it can actually harm you by not focusing on your mistakes on your own. Like for example, in ACJ, when we started the journey, I was taking all the doubts. Towards the end, you might have realized that I was a little bit uncomfortable when a basic doubt is being asked, because that is not the time period. I want you to be able to answer your doubts towards the end, because in the exam, I will not be there with you. Similarly, in clinical, initially take the help of the floor assistants. But challenge yourself that I should be able to check where I'm going wrong and how to correct it when you are going towards your exam. Okay. Then comes lounge access. We have a lounge on the first floor, which is like used for all the students. Amazing facilities are there, and that access will be there once you join our Mississauga Center. Tablets on every station, so that in case if you miss any demo, because this is live, the things do happen. So you can always go back to the pre-recorded version of it. It might be from the previous cycle, but you have the access to those demos. You will get 2 work checks every week. So once you are done, once you start the course, in the first week, you will get the demo on the very first day. And you will also get a stratagem. Stratagem is basically a strategy for a student to understand what all activities they have to do in that particular week. And you will get it on a weekly basis, so that it keeps you, or it provides you guidance on what is expected out of you during that time period. During that week, you will also get a chance to meet the instructor one-on-one in the instructor room, where you will be showing your work and they will be giving you guidance. One best thing about JADE, Mississauga, or even Surrey Center is that the instructors are very approachable. And that is a very big plus point, because you need that comfort from your instructor, that you are able to ask all the questions, all the doubts, and you can share your struggle. Some of us are starting this journey after a gap, or some of us have a great clinical experience. And when it comes to a plastic tooth, it is a different story altogether. So you may need that extra support from the instructor, and they will be able to provide you and guide you depending on where you are, how much time you have spent, and what kind of work you are presenting them. They will be able to guide you. So, two work checks will be provided to you. We have a very amazing process where our team plans a work check in a manner that you get access to all the different instructors so that you can learn from everyone. And they keep on rotating you with different instructors. Like, for example, today I'm with Dr. A and Dr. B. Next week, it will be Dr. C and Dr. D. And once I'm done with all the doctors, I may come back to Dr. A and B after a gap of few weeks. So the work check schedule will be shared with you on a weekly basis. Like, for example, on Thursday, you will get a tentative work check for the next week. And again, Jade wants to provide you with the flexibility, because, again, you are handling a lot of things in your life. So we want to give back that flexibility to you, that if you are not comfortable with any particular timing, Thursday you got the tentative work check schedule. You can reach out to the team that I am not available at this time period. I would like to swap it with my friend. So you have to give them a name that I'm swapping with Dr. X. He will be going at this time period and I will be going at this time period. How to do it? Students generally create a WhatsApp group where they communicate that my work check is on Monday afternoon. I would like to switch it to Monday morning. Is there anyone who is willing to change? And 99% you will get someone. So that is how things are very flexible and will help you to tackle other things in life during this process. So you can always request it by a particular deadline. Then they will freeze the schedule for that week, so that during the week we are not making too many changes. So you have to be proactively looking at the tentative work check, and before the deadline you will need to swap it. Usually you guys are very well in this particular thing, so I don't have to explain too much. Like, students generally know their ways out, how to manage it. Okay. And once your 12-week courses are done, depending on your exam date, you can always extend accordingly. You don't have to take another 12 weeks. You just have to extend it for a short term. So more details you can get for the short term when you will reach out, or when you reach that stage. Okay, that is known as extension. So extensions are also available for clinical course depending on your exam date, so that you are not paying extra by enrolling in two 12-week courses, because your exam could be in 16 weeks. So you can extend for 4 more weeks. Clear? All good? Perfect. Now Surrey. So in Surrey, again, 12-week courses. I'm not going to repeat that part. 2 to 3 days access to the ADEC station. We discussed it. Pre-recorded live and live demonstration. One thing which is unique for Surrey is the stress test. Now, before you ask me what exactly is the stress test, so it is a test to give you stress and see how you handle the stress. So that is something which Dr. Shri does with his students. So once you will join, you will get that stress. to know what exactly is the stress test. So I leave it on you. Full day access. So there are no morning and evening shifts currently in Surrey. Currently, we offer only full day access in Surrey. Floor assistance will be provided majorly by Dr. Shraddha. Dr. Shri will also provide it depending on the schedule. Lounge access, 2 work checks every week, and short-term courses are also available. So same things what we have in Mississauga. Then comes situational judgment. So the second component of this exam is situational judgment, where you will have 10 stations, 5 written stations, and 5 simulated stations. Now, before I go into the depth of this particular course and the exam, I would rather introduce Dr. Neeti here because she is the lead instructor for situational judgment, and she would be able to give us better idea on what exactly this exam entails and what JADE has to offer. So, Dr. Neeti, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. J. And once again, a very good morning to everybody who joined in today's webinar. And thank you for your presence as we get the opportunity to talk about these beautiful courses and hopefully help you continue onwards in your direct licensing journey. So, as accurately described by Dr. J, and without breaking the flow of the ongoing exam understanding, the SJ exam is your flip side in the NDECC exam setting, a heavily practice-based exam. So 10 stations, 5 competencies, 2 stations of each competency, 1 written, 1 simulated. Simulated meaning you walk into a room, there's an actor, there's an actual simulation that happens, there's a role play, you are expected to enact, you're expected to be in the moment as if this were a patient sitting in front of you, or this is an associate sitting in front of you, or this is your receptionist, or this is an XYZ person, but it has to be an acting. So it requires a little fine-tuning of your communication skills. It does need a lot of fine-tuning on your conversation ability. And then within all of that, of course, the core being tested is still your knowledge. Your knowledge about pretty much a whole lot that you have already covered in AFK and ACJ. And then on top of it, we add a few more tangents, for instance, about practice management or insurance details or how to handle something that happens interprofessionally between persons. So couple it up with a few more variables and you have your situational judgment exam. So 5 per competency would be in a room with an actor, and then the other half would be in a room where you're writing, actually using a pen or a paper, and writing, not typing yet. The board did start off by saying that they may have typing, but for now it's only just writing out your answers and expressing the exact same content. So having said that, just like its counterpart, just like the clinical portion of NDECC, the situational judgment exam requires hands-on practice. You can have all theory, you can have books and books of what to learn and what to get in, but on the final day, you're actually getting it all out in a very simulated environment. So the more practice that comes your way, the more enhanced your overall ability would be to handle that situation times 10 on the final day, and that will be your groundwork for success. So on that note, what does our course include? This is our very quick overview of the SJ course. We do begin with building your framework on the first 5 competencies. So theory, we want to know first exactly what does it mean when we say this is covered under health promotion. So we need to define the competencies. The competencies are built up from the ACFT framework, which is the framework that universities use. And that's exactly from where the situational judgment exam has been built up. So we in universities, for example, I in U of T had an oral exam at the end of my 4th year. And that is exactly what is the basis for building your situational judgment exam. And right from there, from that ACFT competency framework, we collate everything. We skim out the most important variables, the knowledge that you need, the theory that you first need to have a little bit of understanding before you can actually put it into practice. So 5 pre-recorded theory-based sessions. These are pretty much you just listening and understanding, oh, this is the name of the competency, these are the subsections, this is what it includes, and so on and so forth. Right in those pre-recorded sessions, we still start to present to you what a question could look like, what a station could look like, and how would you know, oh, the station falls under this competency. So we start connecting, hopefully once again, to give you a little feel of what's coming your way. And what's coming your way is, of course, all of the practice-based section of the course. So you get your modules online, you can view them at your own convenience. We encourage you start reviewing them at the very earliest because those will build a foundation. It's okay if you sit in practice without doing the modules as well. You'll still get everything in the practice. But it's been found over the years that people who do have their basis set up, they have a little idea of what the competency name implies, what directions it is looking for, feel a little bit more confident in starting the practice. So we do encourage you have a look at the modules, you listen to the modules prior to you beginning your actual practice in the course. The actual practice begins with the first thing coming your way are the MMMs, the magic mini mocks. So right from the first experience that you practice, you're actually in an exam-based environment. 10 stations from the very first practice. That's how we want you to begin because that is the right way to start coping, not just with how to deal inside a room, but how to move from room to room, how to navigate the stress that builds up in, let's say, the first 2 stations versus the stations in the middle when fatigue starts to set in, versus towards the very last 2 stations where you're almost done and you are starting to get confused between what happened on the 3rd station and the 6th station and the 9th station. So from the very beginning, we want you to be in an environment where those 10 stations are going to go back to back, no pause. There is no break in a situational judgment exam. It's 10 plus 3 plus 10 plus 3 plus 10 plus 3, 10 times all the way till the end. So from the very beginning, we expose you to that environment. So you get that exam-based format. And if it's exam-based, it means from the first practice session, you have 5 competencies, 2 stations each, split over those 10 stations. And it begins right away. You could do it on site on our Mississauga campus. You could do it online. The experience is not compromised. You would still have actors, which would be coming your way. You would still have a one-on-one interaction in your simulated stations. You will still have the opportunity to write your answers, whether it is on site. We have a setup, a completely exam-based simulacrum that is almost replica of your exam day. As well as online, we give you that opportunity to once again write your answers, scan them, submit them to team so we can actually review them and provide you with ongoing discussions. So we want you to practice from the very first beginning of the course, the practice begins. These are all MMMs which are done in broken groups. And so depending on the batch that builds up, your particular schedule is shared with you. And I will allow Dr. Jay to elaborate upon it once we're done with the course details. But the ongoing MMM, so for example, MMM1 will take a couple of, let's say, Fridays and Saturdays to be done for the full batch. So if you're done on a Friday, you wait for everybody else to finish their MMM. And once everyone has sat for that MMM, there will be a discussion, which is going to break down those 10 questions. So this is an online Zoom discussion, so everybody has the advantage to attend it. And that discussion breaks down everything that was covered in those 10 stations. not just for those 10 stations. We go beyond. We cover the tangents. We cover the variations of that particular prompt. We look into references. We look into some associated topics which might be interlinked, which may present as, let's say, a different case, but the same concept and how it applies to those adjustments. We look at a rubric. We want to see what would fall under a fully competent answer. What could be things which may be additional? They don't make or break the game, but if you have time and if you can include that in your answer, you include those to make sure your answer sounds different. The big challenge currently in SJ being the board themselves having said that on their website that they have a red flag. They always are screening for scripted answers. They don't like that. And so we want to always try that no matter how we are preparing together as a group, everybody's answer stands out. There is subjectivity in everybody's response. And so we talk about that in looking into the rubrics. And of course, very critical, we look at that red section. So critical errors to avoid, because if we spoke about that, if we wrote that, then we lose the entire station. In terms of losing, the situational judgment exam is also as competitive as your NDECC clinical side. Clinical exam, you need to clear all activities to be able to proceed forward. For your situational judgment exam, you have to clear a minimum of 6 stations out of 10, and you cannot not clear, you cannot fail on 2 stations of the same competency, which means you may have cleared 8 stations, but let's say if you failed 2 stations, both stations of communication and collaboration, you still did not clear the exam. So it requires, again, a lot of practice. There's little scope of making it work. It's like a 50-50. You have to get 50% of every competency right, plus 1 more, so 6 in total to make sure you pass the exam. Having said that, that's not the goal. At Situational Judgment course in JADE, we have been consistently seeing fantastic candidates clearing even with 10 on 10. And so if a particular person can do it, I'm sure anybody else can do it with the same amount of confidence. So the MMMs, the discussions help you start analyzing what to do, how to speak, how to write, how to structure my answer, how to stay away from the red zone, how to keep in the green zone, how to manage time. It's critical, especially when you only have 10 minutes to be able to go ahead and give that response. So slowly from the shallow end of the pool, we start heading into the middle and to the deeper end and practice our strokes to make sure we are becoming efficient in swimming through that particular exam. As soon as the MMMs begin, the third offering in the course is a little bit of self-practice. As Dr. Jay mentioned, your NDECC exam is one of the most demanding in terms of time. And so we also want to offer you flexibility in your situational judgment practice. You're pretty much going to go ahead and take this hand in hand. A little bit more clinical focus, which is understandable, but also we recommend you don't just leave SJ behind till the very end, because it's not an exam that you can quickly rote learn in 2 weeks and be done with it. It still requires a whole lot of continued touch and practice. So to allow you for that flexibility in practice and a little bit of convenience and adaptability, since you all just come out from ACJ, we understand that you have a format in ACJ that you are familiar with. There's a zone of comfort. A question pops up on screen, there's a case, and there are options, A to J. And you know you have to navigate the question, you have to read the options, and you have that select one or select one or more correct answer. This is a format which is imprinted in your mind right now. It's very fresh, it's familiar. So picking up from that format, we give you a little bit of flexible SJ practice. What does that mean? Exact same thing. There is a case, there is a prompt, there is a scenario. Instead of a simulator coming and talking to you with it, or instead of you writing your answer on the written station, we've put it into system. So the entire prompt comes up on one side, and then you have a whole big list of basically what the green points of the rubric, mixed with the red and some yellow points. And your goal is to identify, if this was the question, then what would I have said or what would I have written? You choose those. So it's usually a one or more select answer, or it could also be just one correct answer, which is allowing you to just practice at your end. So here I'm talking about your SOAR tests, the situational objective assessment review tests. So it's objective assessment. Answers are all there. You just go in, you spend about 40 minutes. That's all you need. And keep in touch with the questions. Again, keep in touch with, oh, this would have been a critical error. Had I said this, I lost my full station. Or these are the 5 things I should have kept note of when I'm putting a record keeping note or a progress note for a pulpectomy. So once again, it's just all there for your practice to be able to go ahead and stay in touch till the time, let's say, your next MMM comes up or you're waiting for the discussion of that particular MMM. So 10 SOAR tests, again, 10 stations per SOAR test. You get 2 attempts, let's just like ACJ. One is a more timed attempt, so you have a little bit of stress to think and give your response. And then you get a reattempt link, which is a little bit more spaced out for you to make note of your corrections, to understand, oh, this is where I went wrong. And of course, if you have any doubts, you make a note of them. So eventually you can reach out to me or you can discuss with me in one of those discussions and we can take it forward. So 10 MMMs, 10 SOAR tests. That's already 200 practice stations your way, plus the application-based practice that we've already started in the theory sessions. All of that getting you ready for those final 4 mocks. So in the SJ course, we have 4 mocks that we offer. And these are mocks, of course, with that very heavily exam-oriented pattern, which is going to be allowing you to finally demonstrate your skill. Everything that you have picked up from the MMMs, from the source, from our ongoing discussions and participation, you want to go ahead and now fine-tune yourselves. The mocks are mostly for fine-tuning. And this is words from candidates who have already taken the course. The MMMs set you up to a very high level already. If you are present in those MMMs, if you take advantage of all the practice coming your way, you're already there. Now it's just a matter of, okay, reviewing a little bit more, fine-tuning, and then sitting in that mock to make sure you're ready for the exam. We always encourage everybody to book the exams or the mocks rather, the minute you have confirmation of your exam booking. Because once again, as was mentioned for the clinical, the SJ exam is also an ongoing exam through the year. So we have an ongoing mock date schedule for the full year. It's already there on the website for everybody to access. And to make sure you get your 4 mocks better as close as you can to your exam date for obvious reasons, so that they are the most applicable to your current ongoing exam cycle. And that is something which you want to go ahead, open the exam booking date, at the same time keep our website open and see, I'll get these 4 mocks and this is my exam date, everything matches. Again, you reach out to the team and they will book you in for those 4 mocks. The most interesting part about the mocks, which is different from the MMMs or the SOARs, is your personalized feedback. So at the mocks, at that level, we feel you need a little bit more dedicated input on where you stand. And so after every mock, we sit down as a team. We have a big team of feedback, assessment, and evaluation, where your performance on all of those 10 stations, simulated and written, is actually reviewed by the committee. So we look into the recordings, we see what you said, we look at everything that is required, even beyond the rubric, your body language, your English communication skills, your visibility of nervousness, or let's say if it's sounding as if it's too rote learned, we pay attention to all of those details. In your written stations, we look and we want to obviously break it down to whether it's complete, whether the handwriting is legible, whether we can actually make sense of this is a record-keeping note versus this is not a progress note answer. So everything is scrutinized in detail. There is a proper feedback sheet provided to you with your errors or your zones of improvement, giving you your broken down results of whether you cleared that station or did not clear that station or where you want to improve, and then giving you an overall result. So a little bit more hyper-focused, because this is, of course, very close to your exam. Approximately 2 months away, 1.5 months away is when you start the mocks. And we want to make sure that you are tailored, perfect at that point of time to go and sit in your mocks. And lastly, of course, it would be followed once again by a in-depth discussion. We tear it apart. Those 10 stations, we want to make sure we get to the very bottom of, cover everything possible, get out all our ongoing doubts, maybe at that point of time, make sure that we are focused on what has to be done on the exam and get through with success. So that pretty much includes all of our offerings that we have in our situational judgment course. Having said that, we have a little bit more, of course, as going forward with the tradition of JADE, we always like to give more than less. And so with our ongoing experience with JADE, with SJ, we have realized, as I've been saying, practice is paramount. The earlier you start with your practice, the more enhanced, the more effective, the more confident you feel on that day. It's a new exam for most of you. Specifically that 5 rooms where you're speaking to a person, a lot of people find it challenging to just be in a room with a vibe, with a person staring down at you, maybe not giving you answers, maybe acting tough, maybe trying to push you into a corner. This requires a little bit more actual hands-on practice. It's different from all of the exams that you've given so far, and it will not compare to anything that you would eventually be getting into. It's a unique exam. And so, keeping that in mind, we offer at JADE access to 2 consecutive cycles for situational judgment, which means if you start your course with us, let's say in June, then you will have access to the entire course of June. You will also have access to the second course, which would start after the first June course ends. So it doesn't matter which cycle you are hoping to sit for in your exam. We still encourage you start earlier than later so that you have your way, let's say not 10 MMMs, but maybe 20 MMMs. And by the way, it goes without saying, those MMMs are not all the same. We keep updating, we keep refining. About 40 to 50% questions in every MMM and SOAR is enhanced, revised, reviewed, changed, edited. Without saying, of course, dentistry remains the same, but we keep on making adjustments and changes to keep up the practice coming your way in a refreshed manner. So it always helps. The more you sit for, the more enhanced you will feel once again on your day of the final exam. So you get access to 2 consecutive cycles. You have a set of printed notes for you to build up upon. As I already said, it's mostly a collation from AFK, CJ. You will see repetition coming up from previous knowledge that you've already garnered. But then, of course, there are competencies which might be a little bit more fresher, which will then require you to have some amount of matter, some text, which you can build up upon, fall back, review, refresh, and that's where your printed and online notes are going to be helping you. You will have constant email support for doubts. My personal email, direct email. I love to interact with everybody in SJ. It's a learning exam. It is what we do every day in and out in clinical practice. And there are so many beautiful situations that pop up. It is such an intellectual discussion to always have, to even continue to move forward in learning mutually. And I await, I want to see those scenarios coming in. I love to rack my brain around it. We look for references. It pushes us as well to dig deeper in delivering the best. And I do not defer you away from anything that you want to bring to my end. So personalized email support for any station, any question, any doubts that you may have directly through email, all the way from the beginning of your course, even after the exam. Fun fact, a lot of candidates actually reach out to me even during clinical practice. Oh, I'm facing this patient who fell off my street outside and broke his back. What do I do in this situation? And we keep up also looking into those cases eventually, even after people have graduated. So constant email support, always available for your doubts and your concerns. As I already said, the MMMs and mocks are all updated to make sure that we are covering all relevant and even beyond. Sometimes we push you a little bit further to have you prepared, not just for what is existing, but also keeping up with trend of the board. There are new things that may surface. We try to read, we try to do trend assessments, we try to see what's coming in OSCE and AFK and ACJ, and so what could pop in SJ in the next batch, let's say, and we try to have you ready for all of that surprise, which may pop up. But as we've been seeing, if you're a little bit prepared, it would not feel as a surprise at all. Lastly, what we have added for this particular batch, this is very fresh, and so we, once again, believing up with Kaizen, continuous improvement. This is something that we have launched for the first time now, effective moving forward, is a personalized coaching option. So there's a lot of ways to improvise yourself for, let's say, specifically those simulated stations where you feel you have a challenge in speaking. You feel shy, you feel hesitant, you feel you lose your words, you feel you're not able to connect your thoughts, you feel too pressurized by the presence of an individual in a room. There are people who may experience that. And when I say may, we always encourage you start your practice. Let's say you give 1 MMM, 2 MMM, 3 MMMs. I give you all those tips of, look at yourself in the mirror, record yourself, send me a recording, let me look at the camera. We discuss personalized approaches, but let's say nothing is working and you feel, no, I need a little bit more push. I need a little bit more one-on-one environment to come out of my shell and to overcome that hesitancy to speak to a person. We got you. We are now going to be offering personalized coaching options. So if you feel you are the person who is perhaps not being able to benefit that much in a group, and just for the first few practice sessions, you wish to have a little bit more one-on-one guidance, then we will be setting you up with an SJ Clear instructor who will walk you through those cases one-on-one. Again, sitting down with you, allowing you to express your answers, providing immediate feedback, course correction, what not to do, how to do, and give you a little bit more extra push as and when necessary. Again, implies just the way we said for clinical, this would not be encouraged till your marks, because by the time you arrive at your marks, we would want you to feel comfortable. On the final day, there's not going to be someone going with you in the room. So by that time, we would want you to be a little bit more comfortable to do it on your own, lesser support. By that time, support becomes like a crutch. We don't want that. But yes, in your initial practice, in your first few training weeks, you can avail that personalized coaching option if you feel that is the best way for you to start experimenting with this wonderful SJ exam. On that note, for people, of course, who are hoping to avail the priority seating for your NDECC exam, we have also made sure that we adjust our ongoing schedules to be hopefully able to offer you the best that we can, and so that your practice is not compromised. So on that point, I'm actually going to hand it over back to Dr. Jay here, who can give you a little bit more information about how the schedule is going to run forward and give you some picture on how it will fit into your ongoing assessments.
Thank you, Dr. Niti, for the elaborate discussion about the SJ course. So thank you so much. Okay. So people who are planning to go for the priority seating, we would encourage that you register as early as possible and you start preparing, even if you are thinking that I may go for the priority seating, so that you have an option or you can give yourself a chance to be prepared for those exams. Now, if you join the July batch, which is a regular batch for situational judgment for people who are waiting for the results to be announced, then it might be too late for you to take the July batch and still go for the exam in November and December for situational as well, because you need time for practice. And if you remember ACJ journey, we did a lot of practice and it needed some time for you to understand the concepts in the beginning and being able to apply in the mocks, that the actual exam, you feel that they are not that hard as the mocks. Similarly, in situational, you need to start early. Now, the earliest you can start is today. Like you can start with the registration if you plan to. You will get access to the theory sessions and you can start sitting in the MMMs from 6th June onwards. You are here joining the Feb 2025 batch, their MMM cycle, so that at least you will get some idea how this exam works. 7, 8, 9, 10. At that time, you know your results. If you clear and you get the priority seating, you know your exam dates. It could be as early as 30th September. Once we have that idea in the month of July, we would see how many students are going in September and October batch and how many students are going in November and December. Accordingly, we will split you and we will start your MMMs based on the new schedule. Now, either or, whether you are going for September 30th or in December, you can take the MMMs with the July batch, which is going to start in the month of August. That will be number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. You will be able to finish them by September, before 30th September. You are just left with 5th and 6th MMM. We will try to fit it in for people who are appearing for the exam by mid-October, so that we cover all 10 MMMs for you. Okay. Now, for some reason, if you decide that, okay, let me start with situational, but I got the date for December. I have already appeared for some MMMs. What should I do? Take it again, because you have access to 2 cycles. So why not to repeat the MMMs? So as Dr. Neeti mentioned, she keeps on updating those MMMs. So you will get more practice by sitting in those MMMs for the July batch as well. So just continue your practice. So instead of 10 MMMs, you may end up getting more. So there is no harm in getting more practice. So go for it. Now, if you're someone who decides that I might go for priority seating, but later on, because of any reason, you say, I don't want to go for priority seating, still you have 2 cycles, 2 consecutive cycles access. So your access will be till all the way till mid 2026. So you have plenty of time to give yourself to prepare. Okay. And the course access will continue till that time period. So at no point the schedule should bother you in selecting the priority seating when it comes to situational judgment exam. Okay. Now, why I have highlighted this schedule for you, because I want to show you how it looks like as a student, because you have to manage your schedule with the clinical course. So in clinical course, you get the access to the lab from Monday to Saturday. Irrespective of which batch or which center you join, you will get the access from Monday to Saturday. During that time period, in 2 weeks, once only you have to appear for the MMM, which you can easily manage, and our team will try not to keep your work checks during that time period when you're actually going for the MMM. And you don't need the whole day for MMM. So let's say your batch is in the morning, you can take the morning MMM, and afternoon onwards, you can practice in the lab. So you are not missing out on your clinical day, because that is very important for a student to be able to manage the schedule. Once you're done with your MMM, you have to wait for the discussion. That could be Monday or that could be Sunday. Again, we will try not to keep your work check during Monday on those weeks when the MMM discussion is with Dr. Neeti, because we don't want it to be clash with your work check. So we will make all the efforts to not to have an overlapping schedule there. In case if the team by mistake keeps your work check during that time period, when you have MMM discussion with Dr. Neeti on Monday, reach out to them, they will figure it out. Okay, they will make sure that they will get it adjusted so that you are able to do both. With Dr. Roshni, it's not an issue because her discussions will be on Sundays. Sundays, you don't have a clinical day, so you can attend her discussion. There is no issues in it. So from a schedule point of view, you're just giving 1 day in 2 weeks to appear for the MMM and then 1 day for the discussion. So you will be able to manage the schedule easily. And that is the reason why we made the theory sessions pre-recorded, so that we are not compromising anywhere in the clinical schedule. What you need to do as a student is to set some time for situational. And what we have learned from students only, that sometimes what they do, they have a tablet. Instead of watching a demo, they put the situational judgment module on the tablet and put their headphones while working in the clinic as well. So that also gives you an flexibility to be able to prepare for both the courses simultaneously. Okay, perfect. So this is how the schedule will run. Now we will go to the next part of the webinar, that is the pricing. We'll start with Mississauga clinical course pricing. So we have 3 offerings for you, and this is for 12 weeks. If you go for the morning access, it is $5,800 plus taxes, which is very competitive in comparison to the market, and with the facilities being provided to you in the clinical center. For the evening, it's 5,400 plus taxes. For the full day access, it's 7,000 Canadian dollars plus taxes. And what is the timing for morning and evening? Great question, Dr. Rajan. So for morning, it's 6:30 to 2:30. For evening, it's 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you get 8-hour slot, and you have to manage the timings if you're going for the morning or evening. Full day, anywhere from 6:30 to 11, the station belongs to you. You can access it. If you opt for a clinical center in Mississauga, you have a direct entrance into the JADE unit from the parking. So you don't have to, roam here and there. You just have to park your car, come into the center. Lockers will be provided to you on rent, which is like team would be able to give you better idea on the refundable deposits and everything. So you keep your stuff there. You don't waste your time. You set up your station. You start working on it. Now, having said that, in order to help you guys to go for this exam with some financial flexibility, we came up with a reduced pricing for all the course access. So the morning access will be 5,400 instead of 58, evening will be 51, and the full day will be 6,000. This will be applicable for both June as well as July batch. So irrespective of whether you go for the priority seating or not, you can avail these prices for the clinical course in Mississauga. Now, people who came on 16th of May, they actually won some coupons during the time period, during the celebration. You can utilize those coupons as well on top of the already discounted price. So it doesn't mean that if you won, let's say $1,000 discount, then you cannot use it because we are reducing the price. No, you can club it. So if you won $1,000, full day access will be just for 5,000 for you for 12 weeks. Another thing is, let's say you go for a July batch, okay, because you didn't opt for the priority seating and you start with these pricing. The pricing will remain consistent for you for the next cycle as well, unless there is any change in the main price. So if this doesn't go up, your pricing will be remain same for the whole course. That is 6,000 for 12 weeks. And if you extend for another 12 weeks, same amount will be charged instead of the lesser discount. Okay. Now, for Surrey, it's 6,000 for 12 weeks, and it has been reduced to 5,400 for 12 weeks. Okay. Now, it's a big amount, and we understand the situation you guys are in. So that is why we came up with some policies, especially for people who are planning to go for the priority seating. That means they are planning to start their NDECC preparation in the month of June. For you, we have an option that once your results are announced, if you clear the exam, you have to continue. But God forbid, if you're not able to clear the exam, you will get two options. Yes, Surrey means Surrey and New Westminster. Yes. So if you are not able to clear for any reason, then with clinical, you have two options. Either to pause your course. I'm not going to continue the clinical because I want to focus on ACJ. And you have to understand, you're starting in June, your results will be announced in July. So that means 4 weeks might have been passed. So either you can take the partial refund of whatever time period is left. For example, I paid $6,000 for 12 weeks. I utilized 4 weeks. I'm left with 8 weeks. So whatever the amount comes out to be, we will refund you that. This is for the first time clinical course fee will be refunded, but we want it to be flexible for you. But if you say, I don't want the refund, kindly keep this credit and I'm going to come back to JADE after I'm done with my ACJ exam. You will not lose even a single day. So you have already used 4 weeks, but we will give you back those 4 weeks as a credit. So you will come back after your exam and you will still get access to 12-week course in future. So that means you're not losing even a single dollar. Whatever you have invested for those 4 weeks, you're getting it back as a credit for future use once you're done with your ACJ exam. Okay, so we feel it's a very good option for the student point of view because either or, you're not blocking your money in one option or you're getting the credit. You have to decide that which option you would like to go for once the results are announced. And once you make that decision, you will have to stick to it. Like if I say I want the credits, done. You took the credits, we will keep the credits for you for 12 weeks. Or you say, I want the refund, done. Refund has been issued. Now, whenever you come back, you will consider it as a new student for the NDECC registration. So whatever the course fees, whatever the policies would be applicable in future, that will be applicable to you as well. Okay. If we are not considering the priority seating and we join later, for example, in next clinical session, then the same discount applies if you join in October. Okay, this is for now, I'm saying for June and July. I don't know about October. Now, if you say I would like to book in July, like once the results are announced, I'm ready to book my seat. Can you give me the discount for the October start? That can be done. But if you come in September to book, I don't know future. I didn't have the crystal ball yet. But for now, yes, if you register in the month of June or in the month of July, you will have these prices, okay, with the applicable discounts on the screen. Okay, this priority seating is clear. The options for the clinical course, partial refund, and the 12 weeks credit. Perfect. Great. For situational, it's easy. We can pause your course. You don't have to worry about it. You can come back whenever you want to. It is the clinical where people generally have the issues. So that's why these two options are presented to make it more comfortable for you. Now, pricing for situational judgment. Charges for the full course is 2,700 and that includes the mock exams. We got a lot of queries whether it includes the mock exams or not. So mock exams are included in situational. It is not included in clinical. Clinical, you have to buy the mocks separately from the course, depending on how many mocks you would like to have. But for situational, mocks are included in the course. And you generally get 10% discount as an ACJ student. Now, if you would like to go for the bundle, that means the clinical course with JADE as well as situational. This is the website pricing, that is 7,000 plus 2,700. After the discount, which I just announced, it will become 8,430. For morning, this is the price. For evening, this is the price. And for Surrey, this is the price. But we have even further reduced it. So in case if you wish to go for the bundle, people who have already registered for situational, this information applies to you as well. If you would like to convert it into bundle, we will help you out. Bundle pricing is you are booking both clinical and situational together, irrespective of its full day in Mississauga, morning in Mississauga, evening in Mississauga, or full day in Surrey. The pricing will be 7,500 for full day in Mississauga with situational judgment, 7,000 for morning or evening in Mississauga. You have to select one, plus situational full course, including mocks of situational. And for Surrey, again, it will be 7,000. So we have slashed the pricing because we understand how tough the times are for a student on the other side, and we are trying our best to give you the best possible support in all aspects. Okay, so I hope this information helps you to understand the NDECC exam, what options you have in front of you, what we provide in a particular course, how it operates, and what are the charges and what are the discounts available to you. If there is any questions, we would love to take those, but that's it from our side today in this webinar. But we are open for the questions, and feel free to reach out either by raising your hand or ask in the chat. Okay, so I already got few questions, so let me take those first. Thank you so much. Do ACJ discount, student discount would still be applicable with bundle pricing? No. So bundle means everything included. But yes, great question, Dr. Earl. One thing I forgot, if you join in a group, there could be additional discounts. And that you need to email the team. They will give you, like, you need to tell them how many people are joining, names of those individuals. Based on the group size, they will provide you some additional discounts. Okay. Yes, doctor. If you have already registered for situational and you prefer to start clinical in October, can you opt for the bundle pricing? Yes, provided you register in a particular time frame, you can. Okay. Thank you for the information. Are 12 weeks enough for the training, or do you recommend 2 cycles before taking the exam? Great question, Dr. Alia. So see, the time period required for clinical exam is very, I would say, variable. I cannot tell you that 12 weeks would be enough. It may, it may not. Most likely, 12 weeks are not enough. You need some more time period. There have been people who have been able to do it with 12 weeks training, and they were able to perform good in the exam. But on an average, it takes around 4 months to 5 months to be better prepared for the exam. Even 4 is on a slightly shorter period. But you don't have an option. You have to go for the options available to you if you're planning to go for the priority seating. One thing what I would recommend, that if you are one of those who are going to say yes to the priority seating, you should start in June. Now, with this option of getting the money back or getting the 12 weeks credit, you have an option, or you have a little bit more motivation to join in June. The reason is because if you don't give yourself time, if you don't start in June, your exam is in October, June, July, August, September, at least you gave yourself 4 months to be able to appear in October. If you get November and December, it's the best. You need 5 months, you need 6 months, or sometimes even more. But at least give yourself 4 months by starting early. Okay. Are there any installments plan options available? Yes. So again, reach out to the team. They will give you installment pricing as well. Okay, which might be slightly different from the bundle pricing, but if you do it, you can split the payments without any interest for up to 6 payments or more, depending on when you start your payment plan. But yes, payment plan option is also available uh, with reduced pricing. Slightly, the pricing might be here and there, but it will be still very good deal in terms of the flexibility you are getting. Can I join clinical source course in July for priority seating exam in fall? I believe you should start early. That is my recommendation so that you have more time. Okay. Will the Vancouver location students get Mississauga Center instructors feedback? We try not to do that. The reason is because every instructor has their own way of teaching. So the clear answer is no. It may end up in getting some confusion. It's always best if you're in Surrey. Dr. Shri and Dr. Shraddha, they are amazing. Take their feedback. If you are in Mississauga, all the instructors are amazing. They have proved their mettle in the exam. Take their feedback. No inter centers. Okay. If I don't accept the priority seating, how long I have to wait to find a seat? See, it is very difficult to answer because it varies. I know one, like I can give you examples of the students who said no. I know one student who cleared in May 2024. She is still waiting to get the seat. That is one thing. Then there is another one who said no in May, but is done with the exam already. So it all depends, okay, on the luck. On that day, whether you are able to book it or not. Just like ACJ, and now we are talking about NDECC, even more limited seats. So you might be able to book it, you might not be able to book it. You will be in the pool where all those individuals who failed the exam or who said no to priority seating in the past and in present, all of them will be in the pool. They all will be registering at the same time. Okay. Do you have any support to obtain required instrument for the course? Because some companies give 3 to 4 weeks, and without any instrument, would it worth initiating the clinical course? Great. It depends. If you reach out to the team, they do have some dealers who would be able to provide you the instruments at the earliest. So contact them, they will give you the list, and you can reach out to those and you tell them that you are from JADE. They might give you slightly earlier as soon as it is available. Also, other thing is that is the reason why in the ACJ exam I told you that it's best to invest in the instruments and the loops right after your exam because there is always a delay. Now there is a delay in getting the material and there is priority seating where the exam is early. So you have very limited time. So you should order everything as early as possible. And once you have everything, you can start, like if you have an idea that okay, my material will come in 3 weeks, start after 4 weeks so that you have all the armamentarium and you don't need everything to begin with. That is one more thing to remember. Once you get the list, see what all things you need for the first 2 weeks and at least start with those. And wherever we are able to support you in that, we would. Okay, we will try our best to be able to provide you the resources where you can obtain the material for the first 2 weeks of the practice. After that, it will be fine. Can you please repeat bundle price for 7,500? So it will give you access to full day access in Mississauga for 12 weeks, plus situational judgment course, including the mocks for the situational judgment, and it will be for 7,500 plus taxes. Okay. Sorry if I missed this part. For situational mocks are online or in person? Both. In person is available only in Mississauga campus. If you're in Vancouver location, then it will be online. When is good time to order practice material for clinical practice if we start in June, and if you guide us what to order? NDB provides you the whole list. Okay. Once you register for the course, you can always reach out to the team. They will provide you the name of the dealers and everyone. Okay. When to order? Yesterday. You should have ordered it. In fact, not yesterday, last month. That is the kind of environment you are in. Okay. How long takes situational judgment and clinical course together? Sorry, I didn't get the question clearly. Can we book seat for clinical judgment after the booking situational judgment seat, or both should be together? Both exams you have to book the seat together. Day one you will have clinical exam, for example. Day two it will be situational, or vice versa. But you have to book both of them together. Once you appear for the exam, and let's say you clear one component, let's say you clear situational and you are not able to clear clinical, then next time you can book only clinical. But for the first timer, you have to book both the exams together. What magnification power is best suited for the clinical? Can we go ahead even without loops? Great question. Can you go ahead with loops without loops? The answer is yes. Is it the best thing to do? No. But will it help you to begin without loops? Yes, at least something is better than nothing. What magnification is best? That is very individual specific. What generally our instructors recommend is to go for at least 3 to 3.5%. Okay, where 3.5 times, where you will be able to see everything. 4 times would be too much. So try to get 3.5 times magnification. Again, then in lens, there are multiple options: Galileo, prismatic, ergonomic, and you need to decide whether you're buying for the clinical exam or you're buying for longer duration. So if you're going for longer duration, you can go for prismatic and ergonomic loops. But if you're going for just for the time period and first year on your clinical practice, you can go for Galileo as well. Is there any financial guidance to manage the budget like any bank or private institution? You can go to CIBC, but they will give you the line of credit once your ACJ exams are out, results are out. Okay. You can also reach out to Windmill, even if you have CIBC line of credit. Let's say after clearing AFK, you closed Windmill and you ask CIBC to increase your line of credit, and you have line of credit equivalent to for someone who is appearing for ACJ. Great. Go back to Windmill again. Tell them that you are JADE student. They might offer you another 25,000 for the clinical help. Once you are done with ACJ, go back to CIBC, ask them to give you more for the clinical. But yes, try to budget it, try to manage it in a manner that is beneficial for you, okay, or less costly for you, so that you are able to manage everything. Even if you are not able to clear in 1 or 2 go, then you have some support. And another thing is, opt for the payment plan. Select the bundle you want, reach out to the team. I want to go for the payment plan, so that you are not investing everything in one go and you're going for the payment plan. The pricing might be slightly different, but we'll try to get it as good as possible, and try to join in the group so that you get the group discount. And even after payment plan, the amount, the dollar value per week is reduced. Okay, so you don't have to worry about at least the clinical course. Okay. What percentage of seat is people signing up for priority? For example, in 12 seats available, would 20% be priority for all? 20% be priority for all, or all? Okay, great question. Wonderful question. So generally, doc, how board operates is that if they have 12 seats, They see how many sessions they are going to conduct in the month of fall. 30th September till December end. How many clinical exam sessions are there and situational sessions are there? Then they come to know that this is the number of candidates we can accommodate. And your results might be announced before they open registration for others. So all those seats are available to those who go for priority seating first. Okay. Once you tell them that we are going to take these seats, whatever is left over will go to those who are going to register in July. People who failed earlier or who said no to priority seating, they are going to book at that time period for the remaining seats. Then people who say no in this priority seating will get their chance later on. So that is how they work. So it's very differently managed system. I'm not saying poorly, I'm not saying great, but it is very differently managed system what they are going to do. Okay. Can you repeat the timing for morning and evening access? Morning is 6:30 to 2:30, evening is 3 to 11. How much is the instrument cost excluding loops? That depends. It's very variable. The reason is you may go for the instruments which are used on the Facebook. You can reach out to the students who have recently cleared 700 series, or you may opt for the new one. Now, sometimes what people do, they reach out in a group to the dealers and they get the best deals. Like for example, if you go to K-Dental, just giving an example, for the Cavo, as a group, you get the reduced pricing. So you should consider a good chunk of 25,000 to begin with. But if you want to go for a kit which is older, you would save considerable amount in there. So again, depends on you. For priority, if they give us 8 options days, can we choose 4? For example, 4 days in November. Yes, you will have multiple options. They will tell you those options. Okay. For clinical, what are the additional charges for the mocks? Yes, they have mentioned it recently that they will give priority seating to Canadian citizens and the permanent residents. Okay. There are 21 to 22 sessions from September to October. Exactly, Dr. Neeti. Thank you for sharing. So 21 to 22 sessions in that time period, September to October. So you have plenty of seats available the way they have structured. So everyone who is opting for the priority seating should be able to get that. For the clinical, what are the additional charges for the mocks and how many mocks do we have for clinical? You can opt for 2, you can opt for 3, you can opt for 4, you can even opt for 5. It depends on what you want. And the pricing will vary depending on whether you opted for the 12-week course or not. Like if you opt for a shorter course, the pricing is different. If you opt for 12 weeks, the pricing is different. So I would recommend email the team. They will give you the exact pricing for the mocks. In situational judgment, can you please explain that personalized feedback? Yes. So I believe you're talking about personalized coaching options. So this is basically for those individuals who feel that they need some extra support, extra push in order to prepare themselves for the exam. If they go for the priority seating, the time period is less. So if you think that after third MMM you have attempted that, okay, I need some extra guidance, I need one-on-one, you reach out to the team. They will give you an SJ cleared instructor who is going to sit down with you and go over certain examples or the practice scenarios where you will be giving them the answer and you will get the guidance right away, one-on-one. Okay, it will be different from the other stations. Okay, so it's not part of the course, it's an extra option available. If you want, you can opt for it. Okay, Are bundle prices for ACJ students? This is for everyone who is planning to join now. Like, this is including everything. Okay, except for the group discount. Like if you join in a group of, let's say, 5 individual, reach out to the team. They might offer you even further reduced pricing based on the group size. Okay. There will be some terms and conditions they will be going over. You have to register in a particular time frame to be able to get the group discount. Does bundle include mocks? It includes situational mocks, yes, but clinical mocks are separate. Okay, if you tell them that I need 2 clinical mocks included in the bundle, what would be the price? They can give you the price. Okay. What is the approximate value of loops in Canada for 3x magnification? Again, it depends, doc. If you're going for Galileo, they are usually cheaper. If you're going for Ergo, they're higher. So what I would recommend that you should get in touch with the companies who provide these loops and see which company you would like to go for and then take the pricing for the student. Okay. Do we need to start looking into things to purchase for NDECC before joining Crores, and what is required, teeth, typodont, etc.? Yeah, you should have started in your past life. Okay, but yes, please start. Please reach out to go to the NDB website, get it. Okay. I'm a new mother. Okay. Can I start with SJ first for now and then in October join skills? Should I pay full amount or bundle for now? Great question. So, Doc, what you can do, you can opt for the payment plan for the bundle. You can start with situational now. We will reserve your seat for October for the skills. So you can opt in that manner. You don't have to pay the whole amount now. We can even stretch the payment plan that it gives you more flexibility and more number of weeks. And we will reserve your seat for October start. Okay. So that is a possibility. We want to be as flexible as we can for this journey. So that option is available. But you should start the payment plan now so that SJ Codes access, you will be getting it right away and you start with it. And once you reach the October month, results will be out and then you can opt for it. Okay. Please, could you explain priority seating, sir? So people who have just appeared for the exam, once your results are going to be announced in, like, for example, 30th June, your results are announced. 2nd July or 3rd July, you will have a survey where you have to select which month you would like to give your exam. So let's say you select November, December, or you selected December. So there will be some options which you need to select. They will try to give you seating there, but if they are not able to give you seating in, let's say, December, they might give you in October. Priority seating is that they are going to give you priority to get the seat first, which could be from 30th September till December, anywhere. You will have an option to give your preference. Whether you will get that preference or not is dependent on how many people are opting for that preference. Okay, let's say, for example, 50 people have opted for December and they have only 40 slots. So 40 people will get it. 10 people might be moved to November. So that is how it will work. Okay. So I'm just giving an example. They will tell you the exact slots. As per calendar, I believe your exams should be scheduled in between 30th September till November. That is the time period you're looking at. December, they have not yet released it. So they might take the break in December and they might not conduct any exam. So you might get it in 30th September to November. Okay. So 27th November is the last date. Okay. And they will utilize December for the evaluation so that you have your results. In case we opt for 4 or 5 months clinical training, should we pay for 2 consecutive cycle or just 1 cycle and add monthly course? Why will you pay for 2 consecutive? Like, if you want to pay, with all means, I'm ready to take it. Okay. I will be very happy. But you don't have to. So if you, let's say, go for 5 months, okay, that might not be equivalent to 24 weeks. So you pay for 12 weeks plus the extension of 8 weeks to make it 20 weeks. If you opt for 16 weeks, so 12 weeks plus 4 weeks. Okay, that extension charges again are fixed and they are also reduced for your batch. So we will let you know once you will reach that stage. Great. Any other question? Can you elaborate on challenges or special consideration for left-handed dentists when it comes to NDECC? Great question. Amazing question. So we do have some instructors, doc, who are left-handed, and we do have some students who are left-handed. So ADEC gives you an option to convert any station into a left-handed station. But generally, there are some special locations of the seats which should be turned into a left-handed dentist. And we have dedicated stations in our labs as well. So if you join us and you let us know that I'm a left-handed person, you will get those dedicated stations. We will help you to understand where exactly the cards and everything will be positioned in the actual exam as well so that you can practice on it. Because when it comes to left-handed, no matter how comfortable they try to make it, there will be some challenges. Like for example, when you bring everything according to a left-handed dentist, the extension of the air otter cord might give you some hindrance. So you have to learn to practice. Your cart might be at a different area. So you might have to move a little bit more than a right-handed to get the stuff. Okay, so those challenges or considerations, one of our team member or the instructor will explain it to you individually when you join the course so that you have a better idea that how it works in the actual exam. Okay, so there are some challenges which might be there, but you get a dedicated station even in the exam. Similarly, we give you a dedicated station in the center. Thank you. Great questions. Amazing. Thank you so much. It was very detailed. Each and everything was very well explained and cleared all my doubts. Great. Amazing to hear. That is the whole idea about this particular session, that you should be able to ask all your doubts and we should be able to give you better perspective of what to expect. I won 2 coupons on 16th. Can I use both? Okay. Generally, 1 coupon should be used for one course, but if you are opting for a bundle pricing, you can use both. So if you won, let's say 1,500, yeah, we will honor it. Or you can keep 500 for OSCE. Or you can give 500 coupon to your friend. Okay. Till when the new Westminster station be ready to operate? It is operating at the moment. It may go for a few weeks in the upgrade stage. So we will let you know once you will start your journey. But we want you to start first in the Surrey Center, because currently we have all the ADEC stations in the Surrey Center. We will relocate them once the Westminster is going for the renovation. It's not a big renovation. We are talking about hardly 2 to 3 weeks, but we will keep you posted. That's it. Any other question? Can we give? Okay, great question. So one of you asked that if we join the Surrey Center for the clinical during the mocks, can we move to Mississauga? Yes, of course you can. So basically, your idea is to take the mocks in person in Mississauga. So situational mocks are handled in a manner that you get two mocks in 1 month. So if you wish to switch to Mississauga for 2 months, so the last 2 months, so that you can take the situational mocks in person as well, plus you get the feedback from the Mississauga instructors as well, we can definitely do that. We can make it happen for you. And we will let you know what are the pricing difference, if there is any, in order to switch the course from Surrey after your Surrey clinical course is done to Mississauga to be able to practice in Mississauga and take the situational mocks. If you want only two physical mocks, two online, even that is possible. So, as I said, whatever are your challenges, let us know. We will try to figure out a way together to see what all possibilities we can bring on table. So yes, we can do two online situational mocks for you and two on site so that you have idea for both. And before going to the actual exam, you have experienced the situational judgment mock environment. Okay, because it's like these people, they have built it. I'm saying these people because I was not very much involved, but they have built it beautifully. Like you will get the exact exam experience that you don't know who is going to enter from that side. You don't know because you can't see them, and they're not sitting in there from the beginning. When you enter, it's empty, just like the actual exam. And once the timer hits, they walk in. So that is the actual feeling you should have. Okay. And it sounds like it's an easy thing, but actually, when you have a surprise in the exam, when the person walks in with a report which is additional to the whole scenario, it brings the challenge in and it gives you that anxiety. So those things will you will be able to experience. Okay. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Any other thing? No? Perfect. Wonderful. So I believe we are done with the doubts, but in case if there are any doubts which I might have missed, uh, feel free to reach out to the team and they would be delighted to answer all your questions. Oh, I have a situational doubt for Dr. Neeti. Da, 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 da. Okay, so Dr. Neeti, there is one question for you for situational judgment that we got the updated information for from ACJ. So will that be applicable for situational as well, or there will be some updates which we will get? Okay, so I leave it on you. I might add a point later, but yes, I leave it on you. Yes,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Neeti.
Dr. Jay. I think the question is intended to perhaps the patient management updates that you received in ACJ. I
Yes,
hope that is
I
where
believe
the
yes,
question is
yes.
heading. So, yes, absolutely. We have made all of the updates in our situational judgment booklet as well. And we will most definitely be referencing the latest evidence and making sure that we are in sync with what is current. We always want to follow what is current in ongoing examinations as well.
Perfect. Wonderful. And just to add a point there, in fact, if you go on the website, it's funny that the references for the other exams are not being updated regularly, but the references for situational are being updated like every now and then. You have to be on toes to know that what exactly the new reference is. So yes, in fact, in situational, it should make more sense to know exactly what the updated concepts are. Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Jay, Dr. Neeti, for all the inputs. Thank you so much. Waiting to continue the journey ahead. Same here. We would love to see you in person. Perfect. Great. So I don't have any other questions. So please feel free to reach out to the team in case if you have any questions related to the process, they would be able to guide you. And if needed, we will reach out to the dedicated instructors for the courses. In case if team is not able to address any question, they will reach out to them and make sure that they give you the best possible answer for the doubt you have. So thank you very much, all of you. All the very best for the results. Um, I know it's a very different approach to start the next exam before knowing the results of the previous, but this is how it is. So you have to be ready, you have to be prepared, and we are here to help you propel your success and be there as a support in whatever possible manners we can be. So thank you everyone for your patience, for your time. Take care, stay safe, stay blessed. Bye now.
Thank you, doctors, and we'll see you around. Bye bye.